Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we're going to make a beautiful necklace using products from the Potomac Bead Box Treasure Edition. Okay, so this is a new box that I am opening here on my channel. It is the Potomac Beads Treasure Box. This one was called Buried Treasure, and it features beautiful bright copper tones, one-of-a-kind vintage check glass, and exotic shapes and colors. And so if you want to subscribe to the Potomac Beads Treasure Edition, I am going to put a link in the description box below the video. These are new boxes to replace their old boxes. So they had the Potomac Beads Best Bead Box and Best Bead Box XL. And so the Treasure Edition is formerly the Best Bead Box. And then they have another box called the Kit Edition, which was formerly the XL. Both boxes are bigger than ever. They have 10 to 20 different packs of stash beads. Let me grab my paper here. There's a lot to note, so I'm reading. The stash beads may include a new collection each month, the same product in multiple colorways, 2 to 3 inspiration videos provided for each box, premium stash beads, crystals, check glass, pearl, seed beads, premium metals, etc. Hours of fun and inspiration. They are beginner friendly. The pass boxes for the treasure box will become available a la carte after several months. There are 5 golden tickets each month, so if you subscribe to the treasure box, you may get a golden ticket, and if you do, you get a special prize. So the treasure box is $39.99 a month. If you pay quarterly, it saves you $60 a year. It is $34.99. And if you pay annually, it saves you $120 a year at $29.99. So the kit box is different. It has kits in it. The kits will not be available outside of the subscription. So the only way to get the kits are through the box, through the subscription. And these are new kits. They are not kits available on PotomacBeads.com. So there will also be 5 golden tickets each month for the kit, and the price monthly is $59.99, quarterly $54.99, and annually $49.99, so a month. So yeah, they've got a lot of really cool stuff going on over here at Potomac Beads. Also, with these boxes, you get some benefits, so you get to see materials that aren't available to everybody. And you get some discounts and some materials that are only available to subscribers. So that's pretty cool. So if you want to check those out, I will link them in the description box below. But here's what we're going to do today. So let's do our encouraging word. Every moment is a fresh beginning. And that is true. If you feel like you've messed up, just wait a moment and start over. Okay. So we are going to be using, I've added a couple of things in from my stash, not very much. Actually, not very much at all. So we're going to be using these beautiful Potomac pearls. These were in the color Comet, and I thought they were so pretty. I love them. They're 4mm. These are what I've added in from my own stash. Whoops, there's a bead cap in there. Where did you come from? These are just some silver spacers, but they have this greenish AB kind of, I don't know what you would call finish on these. But I pulled them in because we've got some silver here in these beads, and I kind of want to just pull silver in. So we're going to do a little mixed metals today. We've got the Potomac crystals, these faceted round crystal beads. We have the Potomac bicones in a Montana blue. We have these beautiful check glass leaves. They are done on both sides in this silver carving. They're really pretty. And we have some copper head pins. So we're mixing coppers and silvers. We have 2 wire guards, 2 2x2 crimp tubes, the toggle from the box, and 3 of the bails from the box. We are using some 8mm jump rings from my own stash in a copper color. And we're going to be using some of the bead stringing wire from the box. So this was 7-strand bead stringing wire. And we're going to be using that. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is everything. And your tools, of course. The tools that I use most of all, I use my Xuron crimpers, my Xuron needle nose pliers, my Beadsmith round nose plier, or Beadalon round nose pliers, and my, what are these? Quality hand tools, cutters. These are great. I don't know where I got them. I do know where I got them. I can't remember the name of the place, but anyway, this is what I use all the time. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is string up our middle section, and I have a big piece of wire here. You probably don't need this much. I've got about probably 36 inches just because I always run out, and it's really frustrating, so I'm trying to not do that this time. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hang one of these bales from the very middle of our chain. Okay, so there he is going to be in the very middle. And then I'm just going to bead on either side of him. Now I need a couple of beads that won't go through this. So let me see, the crystal beads. Yeah, these crystal beads will work. So I'm going to put a crystal bead on either side. So one over there and one over here, just like that. Oh, they do go through there, don't they? That one does. I do not want them to go through there. So let me see. We have some gold in the box. I don't know that I want to pull gold in with this. And we have these really pretty blue ones. No, I'm afraid. Okay, I have some clear crystal beads here. These are basically, they look pretty much the same as these, only a size bigger, and I'm going to use them just for this, just so that they will block this bail. And I'm going to have to use them a couple times during this necklace. So if you have, these are 4mm, these are probably 6. So if you have a 6mm bead, you just need something that won't go through there. You could even use a bead cap if you had a bead cap and put it on backwards, but I'm just gonna do this, okay? Then I'm going to do a metal, one of my silver metal beads on either side. Okay, so if you can see that, those clear beads will not go through that, and that's what I want. I don't want them going through. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see, and scoot this camera down a little bit. Okay. Alrighty, so here's what we have now. Let's add the blue Montana bicones. Just like this. Pretty. And then we're going to add a couple pearls. I love these pearls. I think they are so pretty. This color is just beautiful. We're going to put one on either side. Okay, just like that. Really pretty. Now we're going to work on a dangle here for the middle, and I can't decide. Oh, I do have some Figaro chain here. I hope I mentioned that. I don't know if I did, but I have some Figaro chain. You're going to need some chain of some sort. It doesn't have to be Figaro, but some chain of some sort. And I was trying to decide how I want to hang these leaves, so let's take a look here. Sometimes when you're designing things, you have to do a little trial and error. I know I want to hang a cascading kind of thing down here with these leaves, but I just want to be sure. So the 8mm jump ring goes through, should go through here just fine, but maybe not. Oh, that could be a problem. I may have to use a thinner jump ring. I thought for sure these would work. Let's try this one just to be sure. It's not going to work. Nope, they are just a little bit too thick, I believe. No? Okay. Nope, they're okay. You just have to kind of fiddle with them a little bit. Okay, so what I'm wanting to do is create kind of a cascading thing here with the leaves and some jump rings. I want them to hang in a pattern where they're just kind of falling from each other. Let me make sure these jump rings are really going to work and that wasn't just a fluke. I think they will. You just really have to, if you have a thinner one, I don't really want to go bigger, but if you have a thinner one, you might have a little easier time. But these, they will work. I just have to kind of push them through. And I'm not sure how thick these are. I'd say these are probably 20 gauge. So if you had like a 22 or a 24, you'd probably be in much better shape. Which I may have to see if I have a 22 or 24. These are going to be so bent out of shape by the time I get them on there. Well, they may work. I don't know. Goodness. I think they'll be okay. We're going to try it anyway. So what I'm wanting to do is like this guy right here. I'm wanting to take him, hang him up here at the top. Oops. Just like this. Okay, just make sure that you get your look, he jumped on the wire. You're not to go on there. Thank you. Make sure you get your ring closed really good. And then I want to take them and kind of dangle them down from each other. So this one I would probably, let's close this jump ring up. And let me grab another one. And I want them to be kind of a cluster here. So this guy I'm going to hang from the original bail with 2 jump rings. Okay, like that. Okay, then this one, I'm going to take a couple of jump rings, close this one up, and make sure I get that original one closed back because that's the one that I kind of bent out of shape. So just make sure you get them closed back up really good. And then I'm going to take a third one, and I'm just going to dangle this guy. Do I want to go from this guy? I do, from this one right here. And see, when you pick them up, they're going to hang in kind of like a little layered look. So let's grab another one. And you just have to kind of take it and make it go through there. So this one I'm going to hang right from here. And this is totally your own design. However you want to make it look, you can hang them however you want them to be. I just want there to be several in a little group. That's what I'm going for. In a little cascading fashion. So let's see, let's add a couple more jump rings on this one. And we'll go ahead and put this one on him. See, he went on really easily. And I'm going to hang this right from the top here on the other side of the original one, the very first one that we hung on. Okay, and just pick it up and look at it, see how you like it. Now, why did that do that? That was silly of me. I hung it on the wrong, one on there. So let's fix that. Goodness gracious. I have filmed several videos today, and I am clearly getting tired. But I've got to get caught up. I still have not gotten caught up from the holiday with everything that I need to get done. So it's been kind of hectic. All right, let's put this one on here the right way. There we go. Much better. Pick it up. Yeah, so see how it's creating just a little group of leaves there. Now, I'm going to take a couple of the pearls and our ball head pin, and I'm going to make a wrapped loop. Okay, so I'm just going to take the little pearl, put it right on there. I'm going to bend this 90 degrees. I'm going to take my little pliers here, my round nose pliers, grab it right in the bend and come up and over, just like that. A little question mark, and if you need help to get it to be tight on your, just pull it with your plier. Rotating up, coming right under here to make that little loop, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and make the wrap, and then I'm going to put it on the jump ring. So I'm going to wrap around, whoops. It's probably not the best to do that with your round nose plier. It's probably best to do that with your chain nose plier. Don't do what I'm doing. Yeah. There we have it. A little tiny wrapped loop. And I'm just going to insert this on one of these little leaves here. Maybe on this guy, since he's on the very bottom. I'm just going to take the jump ring, open it up, and insert this little guy right on here. Oh my goodness. Maybe I am. Everything's fiddly today, isn't it? There we go. Close that right back up. And then we'll have a little pearl hanging down there. Cute, huh? And you can hang as many of those as you want on there. I think I'm going to do one of the little Montana bicones up toward the top, but I want to make sure that this jump ring looks more closed than that. There we go. No. You do want all of your jump rings to be closed up really good. You don't want anything falling off. And these are, you know, all these little dangles, it'd be real easy for something to fall off. So let's make another wrapped loop with this Montana colored bicone. It is beautiful. Again, 90 degrees with our plier. We're going to take our small little loop and come up and around, under, and then I'll use my chain nose pliers. How about that this time? I'm just going to wrap. Okay, just like that. And I just go around 2 or 3 times just to make sure that it is secure on the bead and that your wire's not going to come loose. We will tuck this little snaggle in. Maybe. There we go. And it's kind of hard with the bicones. You don't want to crack them. So I'll use my crimping pliers sometimes because the end is really precise. And then I'm just going to open this jump ring up here. I'm going to hang it right from there. And there we have another little dangle on there. Okay. And flip him around to the front. All right, so what I'm going to keep on doing is I'm going to keep on beading up a little bit more. So let's see here. Let's use one of these crystal beads. Actually, let's use a couple of these spacers. So we'll do a spacer, a crystal bead on either side, spacer, crystal bead. And I'm using the Potomac crystals here. I'm not using the ones from my stash. I'm going to in a minute because we're going to put another bail on, and I will need it not to go through there. But right now I'm using the Potomac crystals. We're going to do another pearl on either side. These pearls have tiny little holes. There we go. And another bicone. Okay, so another pearl and another bicone on this side. Pearl. And another bicone. And there's what we have. Now we're going to create 2 more of these dangles, okay? One on either side of this one. But I'm going to bead up just a little bit more. So I think I will do a spacer and another pearl. Just like that. Same on the other side. Spacer and another pearl. Just like that. Now I'm going to take 2 of my larger crystals, my 6mm ones, and I'm going to put one on either side. And I'm going to hang a bail on either side. And then another of, whoops, another of my larger crystals on either side. I forgot the bail on this side. There we go. And another of my larger crystals on either side. And those larger crystals, the only reason I'm using them is they're just going to keep any of the beads from going through the bails. And then I'm going to create another little of these for both of these. And it doesn't have to be identical. It can be different, however you want to make it. So go ahead and make yours, your little leaf dangles, and come on back. So here's what I've got. I've got some, all of my little dangles done. And I've put some of the little pearls and Montana bicones in there. And I may put more, I'm not sure. But right now we're going to finish stringing what we're going to do. Finish stringing the rest of our project. So I'm just putting a spacer bead on either side of the crystal. And you kind of have to decide how far up you want this to go. We're going to attach chain, or if you wanted to bead it all the way around to the back, you could. It's totally your own preference how long you want this to be. I would want a necklace like this to be fairly short, to hang up around my collarbone, so these, you know, would not be too long, but it's totally up to you what you want. So I'm just beading this up, kind of how I think looks good. I keep losing the end of that wire there. Okay, these are such pretty little beads. I'm going to add in a couple of the crystals, clear ones. Another pearl on either side. Whoops. Okay. Another bicone on either. But I'm going to wait until I get it finished, completely strung up to do that. So let's go ahead and crimp and add our chain. So now one thing you want to remember when you're doing this, you do not want this to be pushed in really stiff because these need to be able to hang down on the wire, okay? So just, you know, let gravity do its thing. Come over here to the end and we're going to crimp, okay? So we're going to grab our chain, and I have my chain still hooked onto the, I've got a jump ring that I have it hanging on over here. It's like this, see this? So it's still hooked on there, but we're going to do this. Okay, so go ahead and put your crimp bead on and your wire guardian. Wire guardians just protect your wire from fraying, so they're kind of nice. They are not necessary. You don't have to have them to do this, but you know, it's a good thing to keep your wire protected a little bit. And then we're just going to hook right onto the chain. Okay, move it up into the wire guardian. Then I like to take my pliers, my crimping pliers. Let's see if I can zoom in a little. I like to take my crimping pliers and I like to bend this wire guardian in just so that it's not quite so wide. And then we're going to put it right back through and through a couple of the beads if we can. I don't know if it'll go through that pearl again, the wire. It does not seem to be going to go through the pearl. Yeah, it is too. Okay. So I'm just pushing the wire back through a few of the beads. This just, I feel like it's a security measure. And if for some reason something would happen and your wire would break, you would have some wire here left to restring this. And I've had that happen before, so it's a good thing to do sometimes. So I'm just feeding the tail through as many of the beads as I can get it through. And then again, I don't want that to be too tight. Okay, so here's what I've got. I've got my little crimp bead. You're going to lay it in the back divot of your plier right here. The very back little hole, see it? We're going to lay this right in here. And we're just going to crimp down firmly. And it creates a little channel, if you can see in there, okay? So then you want to turn that channel vertically, and I usually go into the second little, there's these three little things, I usually go into the second one, to do this. I don't know why. I just always do, and it always works good. I guess because I use size 2 crimps most of the time. And then you're just going to smash it down, and there is our perfect little crimp. Okay? So now we're going to go to the other side. Make sure you don't have any gaps in your wire and all your beads are scooted up, but that they still can hang nice, okay? And we're going to come over here. Now, I told you I had way too much wire, and I do. I'm going to trim this off. I always do, but I'm always wanting to be sure that I have enough, too. So I'm going to push these bails down in between these beads because I want to make sure that they have enough room to hang on this. Yeah, there we go. So just be a little careful with that you don't have it too tight. I am going to put my crimp tube on, my wire guardian. Now, I have to decide how long I want this necklace to be, okay? So I've got my chain on either side. Let me go back out, sorry. I've got my chain on either side, and I have to decide how long I want this to be. So I'm going to hold it up. Kind of hold the chain back to the back of my neck here, and I'm thinking that this is going to be pretty good right here. So I'm going to cut the chain, and I will tell you how long it is, how long I cut it. I cut right at 7 inches, okay? So I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to cut right at 7 inches of the chain. And if you see this mother and son chain or Figaro chain has a long and then 3 small and then a long one, I'm just cutting these small ones off because I want it to be the same on the other side. I hooked onto the long one on this side, and I'm going to do the same over here. Okay, so I'm going to put this right up in here and take it right back down through the crimp and through a few of these beads. As many as I can get through. It has a hard time getting back through the middle of these pearls, but if you're really careful, sometimes you can get it to go. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my crimping plier. I'm going to grab this wire. I'm just going to pull. Okay, and again, I'm going to make sure that these can hang, that I haven't got it so tight that they are pushed up above the beads, because you do want them to hang nicely. Okay, and that looks pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to take my crimping plier and bend this wire guard in. And I'm going to make sure, see, I've got a gap here in my beads, but that will fill in with that when it hangs. So I am going to pull it just a little bit tighter, not too much. Just making sure that those still have room to get down in there. Hold it up and just see how it hangs, okay? And then I'm just going to go ahead and crimp this down. Turn it sideways. Close up my crimp, okay? And then I'm going to trim that wire off. Pretty cute. All right, now I want to even my chain up. So I'm just going to make sure it's even on both sides, and I'm going to trim right here at the top. And I'm just going to add my toggle on with a jump ring. Let me get a little bit smaller jump ring. I don't want to use the really big one. I have some 6mm here. I'll use a couple of those. And we're just going to put the toggle right on. Now, if you wanted to use a toggle and you are making this for someone you don't know how long you want it to be, or they would want it to be, you can attach toggles to each other. So you could take another toggle like this, attach it with a jump ring, and create a little chain of toggles, and that way it would be adjustable. That's how you can do an adjustable toggle. If I'm making it for somebody and I don't know how long I want it to be, I usually just use a lobster and an extender, but if you didn't want to, you could use a toggle. All right, so there we go. That's closed up nicely. And here is our pretty little necklace. Now, like I said, I wanted to add in a couple more of the pearls and the Montana bicones and the spacer. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to add in a few more on these dangles, and then we'll take it over to the light box and look at it. Okay, so here we are in the light box with our super cute little necklace. We've got lots of little dangles going on, and just the beautiful Potomac crystals and pearls, and then the copper. I think the copper looks really pretty with these colors. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and ring the bell. That will notify you when I upload more videos. I will have everything linked for Potomac Beads treasure box in the description box below this video, so check them out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.